Triple decker flows on the road. What you know about it? Couple levels up when I move.
Time for change.
Rolling and rolling.
That was such a good
What a perfect amount of time.
Discipline stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills.
Love and light. Welcome to Discipline Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan,
And my name is Winnie.
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And welcome back to another episode of Discipline Stoners. I'm your host Ellevan.
My name is Winnie,
and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today, do you notice anything?
tell us if you notice anything in the comments.
Did you guys see?
Anything that you may have not seen before.
Do you guys see anything? Anything new? Ah!
Congratulations on our first merch.
Congratulations on our first
A
merch.
little bit of food still right here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Can they see? Is it still there?
Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah, really exciting.
We've been dreaming up merch for quite some time now. Ellevan pulled the trigger, and I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
I feel like it's kind of my role. Like I am the trigger puller.
Yeah, you are.
I am the one to do the thing. You know, so I went ahead and did it. It was a little costly,
Yeah.
but that's because we just needed to get it done.
Yeah.
And I got it done locally. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited that we have merch now. We have these. So if you want to get your own, I'm going to be setting up the website so you can do so.
And we would love you to get them.
You know,
So-
we ultimately, like, I think it's a good message.
Yeah.
Disciplined stoners, hello.
We, our friends over at Hi Ladies Podcast did a news network interview, which I think is pretty historic in terms of
Cannabis, yeah.
cannabis.
Shout out Hi Ladies Podcast.
And so I think everything is just rolling along. You know, I think that this stigma is being released through all of us in this community that are uplifting one another and the plant. And I'm just really happy to be here. I think we're in an exciting time. Does anyone else feel like that? Like, I feel like even you and I during Kind, which was just in December, we're kind of shitting on the industry, right? And we decided at that point that we were going to stop doing that because it's not progressive for anyone. We're going to start looking for solutions. And I don't know, I feel like the momentum is starting to pick up a little bit. That's what it
How
feels
so?
like.
What do you mean?
There's like a new wave of like people coming into the industry, I think, that have
Oh, you're observing the second run.
second run for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of the legal industry having its like because I think when did it become legal? 2017, right? And then the pandy happened, and then there was, but like by the time stores could generally open, it was like 2020. Like, didn't it take several years?
All of the stores. Like there was
You
only
know?
Honey Pot and Tokyo Smoke for like the first year and a bit.
Right? So, exactly. There was a lot of, like, we kind of refer to it as, like, dinosaur level, like, firsts. Like, a lot of retail shops and LPs, like, took the brunt of being early adapters.
And we appreciate
We
you.
call you the frontliners.
But
We'll call you the frontliners of the industry, like, in terms of linear time.
yeah.
And now what you're seeing is it's like when you go from the junior in high school to like the sophomore or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, well, I know this place. And
Yeah.
and you start to see the new excited reps come in when, especially as like a media publication in cannabis, essentially is what one of the roles we're playing, is like you start to see the new reps work for the companies that you already know. And like they come with like this new energy and you're like, oh, sick. Like, nice. Like, we'll be here, like as a pillar, but like this whole thing keeps rotating and changing and stores changing hands and
So I think we're going to start to see less turnover now. That's pretty normal.
More
in
sustainability
any
within the
industry.
first 5 years, 10 years. Exactly.
Yeah. Even when like I know from being in the restaurant industry,
Space
when
cake.
a new restaurant or a chain is opening up a new store, they overhire staff, right? Because
totally.
they know that
Start with 30. Same with improv troops that we met in. Start with
Exactly.
30, end up with like 5.
And there is something to be said about anything in this world being difficult, because if you don't want to be in cannabis, if the last couple of years was just too much for you, like,
Or you thought this was going to be enough time for you to like make back your investment.
yeah, for sure.
Like, it did not reward the people who thought this was a get-rich-quick scheme. It did not favor.
I think that we're learning that nothing is really quick in the perception of humanity. Like, we've always tried to do quick things. Like the first time, you could make a cake in a mug. Remember, you could microwave a cake in a mug. Do you remember that?
Yeah, humanity has always tried to do things very fast. Remember when you could make a cake in a mug?
I think that's...
I don't remember that. That's
Oh,
amazing,
really?
though.
Yeah, like, so all of these things, like all of these shortcuts, anything quick fix like that, it just doesn't really exist. And that's not, like, that's the rule. So there are exceptions, obviously. There are people who've gotten rich quick, or have lost weight quick, or have
But it's often
gotten married quickly.
It's often due to momentum that they've had in thought energy form before it was turned manifest here.
Speak on it.
So, like, Ashton Kutcher didn't just get to Hollywood and get famous. He had been dreaming about this for time. You know, it's like by the time your opportunity to show and potentially get results in the third dimension, it's already happened in your head. You've already dreamed for it and prepared for it somehow. It doesn't just happen. So when as a human you're trying to have an experience, are you going to add something?
Yeah, but go ahead.
You're trying to have an experience, and you want that all to be rewarding while still new. And you want to be like the hot new kid who just kind of like is fluking, of course. But if it's still new, there's a couple of things. You can't play with the familiarity of it, but that's an obvious. But there's like certain magic that comes in flow state when there's a familiar thing, when the technique isn't too challenged. But you got to look at that newness as that's the win right now. All the decisions you're being prompted to make with fresh Zen eyes, that's that reward that you're thirsting for now, this time. So your eyes are so big, but trust me, your belly could not handle it. So the preparation for manifestations is mental, energetic, and that has to be in thought form in the quantum before it lands in your experience.
Yeah, I'm sure we've talked about this before. I just have two thoughts. We've talked about this before, who we follow, Abraham Hicks. If you don't know that by now, you haven't watched enough of our episodes.
Facts. No facts. Facts. You know that we're fans of people like Alan Watts, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, but like who, when he like so beautifully put, like essentially we follow like this. They always just say, don't follow us, follow your own inner bliss, follow your own deep knowing.
Yeah, because
You know,
it's
we just follow that
ultimately
philosophy.
it's universal energy that all of us have, and that's always flowing to us. But what I wanted to say about them is that they have this concept that you have to be ready, which is essentially what Ellevan just kind of walked you through. And that's not something, like, I remember 7 years ago hearing that and talking to you about it and be like, I'm not really understanding what they mean, ready to be ready. Like, what is that? I'm
ready. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready right
Like,
now.
of
Like, I don't need
course
to be
I'm
ready to be ready. I'm just ready.
Yeah.
But it's like, no. You have to prepare. You have to be ready to be ready to be ready. So in that moment, you'll be ready.
Yeah.
If you were ready to be ready.
And so
Sounds so redundant, but it's connecting for me.
And I'm going to riff off of that and say we did a 2-week, I believe, energetic reset maybe a year and a half ago with our online community. And part of that was taking to a book every day. And we gave people sort of their task
Material
for the day.
suggestions, yeah.
And one of the very first ones was like, write down your perfect day. Like if you want it to live in your reality now, like write down whatever is most accessible to you that you could do right now, or like dream forward and write down like what is it that you would actually love. And it was shocking how many people had never really contemplated that before.
Yeah.
And they told us, like the people in our workshop, love you guys, they told us that, a lot of them told us that they had some writer's block at the beginning, but then once they started getting into it, they actually were quite surprised at how much poured out of them.
Just by knocking on that door, you're decalcifying your third eye, or the equivalent to it when it comes to moving your neuroenergy through your brain to think forward in vision, except for being, instead of being a victim to what you currently perceive in matter and recreating that cycle of thought, you're actually charging a new muscle with energy, saying dream into the future. So it's hard at first, to your point. It's like showing up to the gym at first when you're fat.
I'm just going to collect my thoughts from that. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've never, when you're trying to get ready to be ready, if you've never actually thought through what you believe will make you feel better in like the moment, or what you believe will provide you freedom in the future, if you've never thought about that, like you're not ready for it, because how can it come into your experience if you've not even, if it's not even been a passing thought in your brain?
And
of course we can say, oh, $1 million would make me happy or whatever. But we all know it is fact that 80% of lottery winners are actually end up in a worse financial position than they were prior to winning the money. And that's because they're not ready to be ready.
Even if, well, they manifested it, so the dimension must have felt their clarity of the feeling state. But we can get more into that, like native prayer, about the feeling state prayer. But I also want to add on to what Winnie said. Unless it's kind of manifesting, you're not quite ready to be ready, or you're not ready. But, pardon me, involuntary burp. If you can't dream that up, or if you haven't spent the time dreaming that up, also if you have dreamt it up, and if you can see it, but it doesn't feel natural or good yet, you're also not ready to be ready. So if you think you want to be a rich guy, and you see someone with a Ferrari and you're jealous or angry at that person, or your first thought is they're probably inherited wealth in you, or something like degrading to them, or discounting to their current state, that you actually should admire. If you do naturally admire that, like if you love sports and an athlete, you wouldn't look at Michael Jordan and be like fucking, like, probably didn't earn that. Like, right? You'd feel good about that, and you would work towards that humbly and earnestly, and you would want to, embrace that sort of state for yourself one day. So also keep a pulse in your feeling state for how close you are to it, because mentally, when we dream it, the brain doesn't know the difference from like this third dimensional reality and the fourth dimensional thought reality. It doesn't know the difference, so it's reacting the same. So you can tell by how you feel about it.
Love that. To add on to that,
please.
I am creating right now a document about the chakra system and meditation, essentially, for a workshop that I'm leading at my yoga studio.
You've been so zoned in on that. Respect. Congrats to everyone who's going to get that.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
And a symptom of a...
Get your joints light up with us.
A symptom of a malfunctioning root chakra, actually, is holding bitterness towards our allocated and or chosen tribes. So if you look at someone within your global community and you say they're not doing what I think they should be doing with the resources that they have, you are holding yourself away from the healing power of the ultimate knowing that all is one. So that it's actually like a deficiency in with your survival. So if that resonated with you, just because it's fresh in my mind, so I was like, oh, that's a cool little tidbit that I learned that I wanted to pass along, is that like if you look at someone and you're like, oh, that rich bitch or whatever, you know, you have negative feelings towards them, I think it might be a cool experiment to see where you might be feeling out of survival mode. Like in which areas of your life you're feeling like, oh, you're just not making it, and see if there's some adjustments that you can do. And in this PDF that I'm creating, it's so loud. In this PDF that I'm creating, it has ways to nourish each chakra or chakra. So yeah, join our Patreon if you want.
Are you going to drop
insights
this?
On that?
We're back here now.
Join our Patreon if you want more.
I mean, we're always at both. But yo, so on our Patreon, they're going to get the PDF access to this course?
Yeah, it's more like a workshop.
Explain
course.
that.
I mean, I just go through essentially the chakra system, the 7 chakras in the body. There's actually little guys in each of our fingertips.
Oh my God, what did you learn as well about the masculine feminine?
So base chakra starts at the base of your spine or your coccyx, and then it goes up from there. That's considered the first chakra or the root chakra. And then there's 7 that align along the center of the body. And what I relearned today was our root is of masculine energy, and then the next one up is feminine, and the next
Sacral.
The next one up, solar plexus, is masculine. The next one
Intellect.
up, heart, is feminine.
Love.
The next one up, throat, is masculine.
Communication.
The next one up, third eye, is feminine.
And then
then
crown.
The 7th one is unified energy. And I've never looked at the system like that.
I've never observed it that way either, but it's so accurate because working with the chakras, that's right. Root, do you got a fucking roof over your head and food in your mouth tonight? How's your bank account? Do you feel safe? Like, do you have your phone bill up? You know what I mean? Like, is your internet paid? Like, that's real shit. That's just like, you got to hustle with grit to get out of that. Second, you start to learn a little bit more about balancing energy as a human. Like the sacral energy, sexual, creative, orange, impulsive, the first flow that you start to express naturally working from the ground up in, and the progression of unfolding your characteristics as a human being and building your personality essentially are kind of based on these progressions. Then the next one up is intellect. So you get a boner first, and now you got to learn how to deal with it, right? So you grow up and this is where a lot of people get stuck between the sacral and it's only 2 to 3 between the sacral and the solar plex, which is yellow, and it's focus, and it's definitely the next step up for the masculine energy. And when we say masculine and feminine, we don't mean penis and vagina. We mean those qualities that every being, no matter if you identify as non-binary or man or woman or cat or dog or human, doesn't matter. Every being, every plant has masculine and feminine energy working in harmony for it to manifest.
And if you don't like that language, a good replacement would just be yin and yang.
Right on. Also, just conceptually, you don't
I know.
have
I'm
to
just
have a
giving
beef.
some options.
Nice. And yeah, totally. So anyway, that makes a lot of sense, and I love that. And the intellect is yellow, and that power. Once you can almost, it's building your ego identity, like the harmony of the purpose of that chakra, of like diving in and becoming aware in that area of your life, and to get a stronghold on how you wish to be perceived and seen and how you present yourself, and like all of that, like personality driven data that you kind of work out on a very energetic level before you ever claim to be anything. That's tough. That causes a lot of people, I think, to break down and shut up, because I think it's harder to choose something and be definite than it is just to like allow life to present you with options, or so it looks like that. Really, it's everything in your thought queue presenting these options that you're manifesting through your subconscious. But yeah, then the next one up, heart. Man, we gotta retouch with the feminine. Since sacral made you want to have sex and be creative, we got to figure out what this means. Like the heart is kind of like that bridge, like between the lower and the upper, right? You brought that up the other day. And you know, and within the chakra system, as it ascends and descends and goes up and down, it's always just a bridge. It's always connection. It's like a gradient of life. Like there's no necessarily right or wrong, up or down. But there can be within chakras, it can be over or under.
Excessive or deficient is what I use.
That's
the language
right.
I use.
Rip on that
PDF.
for a bit.
Well, so in my exploration this time around, I think generally when you're excessive or deficient in your chakra system, it's malfunctioning no matter what. If it's
I had an overactive throat chakra. I stood in public and rapped rhymes at people for 5 to 10 hours on end.
Yeah.
Overdeveloped, so when in conversation, I talk too much sometimes.
Yeah, and
So I had to shut the fuck up.
an ailment of an over or something that you would say, oh, maybe this might be how I would tell if I have an overdeveloped or undeveloped energy center.
It made me more aware, though, of the power of my words by being acutely conscious of what I'm outputting there.
Nice.
Yeah.
But something is very stiff neck and tight shoulders when you have an excessive,
Oh, yeah.
so
Always with me.
yeah.
And you hear
Mine's
right here,
lower
right in
back,
the
mid lower
intellect,
back.
right in that one, solar plex chakra.
Yeah. So it affects the area that it's physically at. Like, this could be gums, mouth, throat. This is generally eyes or hearing,
And if I may,
chest, breast, lungs, heart.
if I may, I observed something, indulge me, and we can finish the chakras. We got heart to throat to third eye, which is seeing, clairvoyancy, vision, or lack of. And then the crown chakra kind of like is almost like a meter to see how connected the rest are, how much fluidity and flow is in them in order for that to expand. So the crown chakra is like a cherry on the cake of completion that I think lays fairly dormant until the rest are in full harmony. That's the feeling I've felt my crown chakra connect before in meditation and at Runyon. But I wanted to talk about hemispheres, and you'll notice, tall people slouch, right? Like this way. So people who hold energy on parts of their body that is inefficient due to their meridian lines or how they're channeling or balancing their energy, their left and right sides sometimes will be like this or like this. Or you'll choose a side to lean, and that will manifest eventually as a physical characteristic. But even more acutely and interestingly, I like to observe, and there's a lot of reflection and shadow work to do with looking in your eyes. But if you look on each person, there's a hemisphere on each side. And one is a adventurous, sweet little child that was innocent, and it's either still hurt or looking for love, or it's playful and rejoiceful and innocent still. And the other one is the one that is like logic, that like it needs to cover its ass, or again, it's either efficient or deficient or extra. And you'll see a lot of people have one squint on one side, just a touch, and when I observe this, just like when I first started meditating and something cleared from my throat to my brain area, and it was the decalcifying eventually of my pineal gland or whatever was in the center of my skull by just sending energy there more frequently, I would stare in the mirror at them equally. And then with either friends or lovers or people who you're close to, you can just make eye contact with them, and you start to feel this little worm jiggle in your soul seat, in your chest and up your back and in your eyes, and you catch it and then you lose it. And you got to get good at looking for the God energy that's in eyes, and you'll start to feel it unfold and wiggle and jiggle. And as you do that, as you let the God flow go through, and you can do this in the mirror with yourself, if you got to catch it, you got to practice. Don't look at the iris, look right inside at the pupil. and almost just kind of blur your eyes a little bit and let this pupil connect with the power inside of itself. And it starts to move this energy like a belt and an engine almost. And you can feel it start to wear away hurt that I was holding on, that I calcified by making assumptions and and protecting myself. With my ego identity, it was a lot of, let me kill them before they have a chance to even think about killing me. Or let me dump them before they dump me. Let me cancel myself out of this group before I get kicked out. Let me leave this class before I get kicked out. Fuck you. Let me fight this guy before he tries to bully me. Fuck you. A lot of that, and I took that into my adult life, and I would just put that wall up. And I had a lot of calcification where maybe if I had a little more patience, I could have had some really beautiful experiences. But hey, no rugrats. But what I started to observe with myself is a softening of my attachment to my ego identity as I started to balance my hemispheres, because one was lower and one was bigger and always wanting to go and dominate. And so, yeah, that's just a cool thing to observe in yourself, is the hemispheres, what's going on in those eyes, and spending that time with yourself. And it's very nice to kind of unwind those tight wires that we hold on to. But if you're looking to observe or classify those around you and how well balanced their energy is you can see it right on their face. You literally can see deficiency in energy hemispheres.
Yeah. And that would be like heart and third eye
essentially
work.
Yeah, head and heart, left and right are masculine and feminine, but it's a reflection of the whole for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like probably all is involved for sure, but so something just like that, it's like the heart has you moving internally, for the first time, and really challenging all of the beliefs that stemmed from the first 3 chakra development. And then the third eye is important, obviously, because it's connected to intuition. When our third eye is deficient, that's when we don't like to look at our shadow selves. So what Ellevan was just sort of saying is like, take a look. It's like, if that really scares you, that might be, a third eye deficiency or something going on in the heart. So I just wanted to mention that you definitely can join our Patreon to get the whole.
Join it for a month and pay $4.
The whole PDF, yeah.
If you want.
Yeah.
Try it.
Get the whole PDF to learn more. But a little nugget in terms of nourishing. Each chakra is associated with a color, and so if you eat that color food, that's a good way. That's an easy way to just nourish.
You'll notice I love
center.
oranges and turmeric and mangoes. I love orange. I wore orange today, and I was really on a flow. I'm really with that.
You look cool today.
Thank you. I just flowed with it and goed with it. Like there's no minutes left to waste.
Did you put that photo that we took next to the yellow merch truck?
No, but I'll do that. You guys, by the time this is out, you can go see that.
Yeah, we might even put it here.
Yeah, boom. Ha ha. Nice.
Okay.
How about the arm cut on these greens?
We got about 10.
What are we doing tonight?
I'll give us 10. We're having friends over.
Which ones?
You may or may not know them. Their names are Sarah and Age from Unsolicited Project on YouTube.
Gay Women Channel. They hired Winnie to be in Almost Adults, which I will say, for better or worse, probably better, changed her life.
Definitely better.
Mucho better.
Stop it.
I'm saying
Justin
I'm saying one way or another that enriched your life and changed your life, our life.
It absolutely changed my life. I was so high off of the likes I was getting on Twitter.
Oh my
God. I was like...
Winnie blew up. Like, Winnie's had the experience of, like, blowing up.
And so here's the thing, is that I wasn't ready to be ready because I was a love addict.
Yeah.
So everyone that started loving on me, I was like, yes, more. Give me more.
Like,
I need more.
I
need more. Give me more. I can't function unless there's more. I need more.
Winnie's an information desk for fans who want to talk.
So,
I love you. You're so kind.
I had to go through that whole journey, and I got a little taste of it, and I love everyone there. But I mean, anyone watching from that community now,
thanks. Shout out.
thanks so much. Love you so much. But like,
Means you like me too. What?
there was definitely
No, that's not true. Actually,
there was there was definitely some people that were literally just following me to see if they could get closer to Elise and Natasha at the time.
Bro, I'll still get DMs like, "Hey, can you give this to Elise for me?" And I'm like, "Bro,
I haven't gotten
no."
one for a really long time.
Yeah,
but,
I haven't got one for a long time, but
even though, but I actually
because me and her were creating in LA though, like, because remember her shit's on my music videos and like.
And you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're gonna give up.
I'ma keep going.
Yeah.
But semi-recently, I haven't even talked to Elise in years besides on her birthday. And
Shout out Elise.
shout out, love you forever.
Really brought so Serenade even brought like Elise into our life, and I accompanied them with the premiere of Almost Adults in LA.
At Outfest, it was
Outfest,
crazy.
HBO Outfest.
At the Directors Guild of America.
We're in that building. Like, I remember being in
Nuts.
LA and touching that building and be like, I'll be in here one day. And it was like the next time I was in LA. And it was like, thanks to my wife being in a movie that was premiering in that building. That
and
was
it was
a huge
fucking
experience.
sold out, and that
The
theater
after
must have-
party.
It was 500 people.
Oh, it was fucking packed. And like, it was like, this is real life.
And then
Like, this
the
is
after
real
party,
life.
I was just like, but
The after party, you were meat. Like everyone, like you and the girls.
yeah. And at that point, still, I was like, I need more. I need more of this. Love me more.
You literally had a lineup of fans. And like everyone did. The whole cast did.
It wasn't until 2 years later that I had my first moment that I was like, oh, my obsession with getting likes and followers and becoming famous doesn't seem very healthy.
Insert me, Spandy Andy, Playlist Live. We're going to this thing every year now. Sometimes twice a year to perform and meet lineups of fans.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And I'll say we were
and it
always,
was the buzz of the internet days too,
Oh my
guys.
God,
Like
what a
hot fucking
time.
time. Like
we're old
hot
enough.
time.
We're old enough to
2000
talk about
and-
the times.
Yeah, 2013 to 2018 area.
Fuck. Good times.
Good times.
Your 20s. Hey, if you're
Good
listening to us right now and you're in your 20s,
Chase it.
just
Do it.
And also
Do it. Spend the money.
enjoy it more.
Yo, straight up.
you don't have to
make
be
it a
as
job.
stressed out as you
don't
are.
make it a job. You know what? It's no more important if you pretend to be stressed out about it or not. And people don't respect it more or less if you are stressed out about it more.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And
Yeah.
you know what? Looking really busy isn't cool. Because you will get really busy. Like, if you're stressed out about nothing right now, stop. Like, enjoy it for a minute. Because if you want it, it will manifest. It will. And you'll just be like, oh my God, I should have enjoyed that moment at the pool more.
And it
you know
was
what I mean?
like
Just
we
be at
lived
the pool.
we lived in a complete shithole
Bro, but we were
for-
still out there at these
for
nice hotels.
18 months. And that still is one of the most fantastic years of my life.
Bro, big stuff. I remember you booked your first film, The Door, when we lived in that shithole.
I was just talking to, so that's 10 years ago next year. We're having our 10-year reunion with Alice and Matt.
Oh
my two very good friends.
Are you like your hot actor friends now that you go to brunch with and stuff?
And
I mean,
hot people of the world, too.
oh yeah.
Just like, scrumptious. But yeah, when I first booked that movie,
Yeah, here's a picture of Elise. Here's
Hot.
a picture of Matt.
Hot.
And here's a picture of them three together. They always do this stupid, cute photo that I'm so jealous of. I'm not jealous that I want to be in theirs. I'm jealous I don't have this with my friends. They do this like ugly, like these sexy fuckers try to do an ugly face, and it's not even.
Okay,
Like,
first
you
of
guys
all,
do a cute little picture every time you're together. It's like, it's cute.
First of all, we always take good photos first. Then we'll do the funky.
But you
fun
only
photo.
post the funky fun one. I love that about you.
I don't know. I think that I've posted. Anyways, it
Anyways.
doesn't matter. That is our lives. Oh yeah. So when I found out
That is our lives. So
we were
you
at
booked
lunch in the
door.
beaches when I found out I booked the
And
door.
we used to go to places like that, and we could not afford to be going to restaurants like that, but we would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Smart, cute little kids.
One thing though, if you're 20s, just stop using your credit card if you're already in debt. Just stop right now.
Chill with the credit card.
Yeah.
If you want to spend the cash you got, spend the cash you got. But don't do that. That's going to follow you around.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You 10 years from now is going to be like, wow, I'm really glad that I listened to that.
If you've
DS
already
episode.
incurred it, though, don't worry about it. Just try to chip away at it.
Yeah,
That's
no
it.
problem.
We talk about the real shit on this bitch, too.
Yeah, for sure.
As you were saying, though, you found out that you booked the door.
And I was like...
How old were you? 23, 24,
I was
25? 25. And this was your first feature film.
Yeah.
And you'd been doing commercial after commercial after commercial after play after play.
Yeah.
For pursuing acting for about 10 years almost? Or when did you go to AMDA? You went to college, so...
4 years.
Okay, 4 years. So not too bad. You just did like 4 years of commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plays and stuff and theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And,
cute dog.
and I was like, I am about to blow up. Like, Hollywood.
My life's about to change. I'm in a feature film movie. And then, you know what you're looking at? You're looking at the percentage of people who get to fucking say that in their lifetime. And that is tiny. You belong to like 5% of humans? Less? Way less.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of feature films and there are a lot of actors. And a lot of people get to at least feel like they're saying that legitimately. But you really were. You auditioned for it. You worked for it. You're a working actor and you're getting paid to act in a feature film. And that is fucking, that is something to feel really good about, especially if it's your first one.
And because Elise and I and Matt and I...
And Elise was the
three of
lead
us-
in that film, right?
Yeah.
You were all leads, but like
Yeah,
she was
like the cool one.
She was like
who
the
had
primary.
been doing movies already.
And, like, that
it
was
my
when-
first movie.
that was your OG. Like you being friends with Elise is like me being friends with Matt. Like they were both OGs in the field that we admire. And like then we became
And-
close friends. Like so cool.
And I learned that I wasn't the first choice for the role that I got. So I feel like it's very serendipitous because of the people that I met and how they play a role in my life now. Yeah. And I feel like my life is great.
You should.
I'm 35. Just had a birthday. I feel like when
You're so hot.
I feel like when I say that, it's like it's the first time that I'm like, I have lived for 35 years. Like
That's pretty good, Win. You should celebrate that shit.
it's such a celebration.
You made it.
I just never really felt it the way that I feel it this time around.
Okay, fast forward though, because we were just talking about, and I want you to get back to that thought, but I just want to say 25 booking your first feature film,
Yeah.
35, how many feature films you got in your belt?
15. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
25 booked her first feature film. By 35, she has 15 feature films under her belt. She has lots of TV appearances.
And like a bunch of
And you
like
don't
web
aud-
series.
you don't even
and
audition for commercials
short
anymore.
Films and
You're a bona fide actor member.
yeah,
You're a
I'm
TV
an
actor with
for sure.
residuals. Like, this is real shit.
Yeah.
And you have a podcast. And like
And I'm a stand-up comedian.
that's what's really cool is that you decided to do that.
Because that's the essence.
That's
my essence. I've always wanted to make people laugh.
But you have a backbone, you know? Like, you have the balls. My favorite, and I did stand-up first before I did music, and I had to do it at a place that I considered Holy Land. I did. I went to the Holy Land of where my Jesuses were. That's what I did. I realize now. Like, Jim Carrey and Richard Pryor are equally effective as to my philosophy of life as like Eminem and Abraham Hicks is. Like, the backbone of my existence on earth is like, well, where did they build that? So I had to work to there. I just was like, there. That was my and I did it, and it was a Comedy Store main room, and I did it several times. And I was an invited back regular, and I could do that. And then just like Winnie with fans, I was like, The world didn't explode. I'm not a millionaire. This is not I'm doing exactly what I felt I needed to do. But now I did it, and it's like, hey, next, like immediately, not like soon, like immediately.
And that's part of the human condition, I think, that to be like, okay, next, like the happiness is in the achieving, not the achievement itself.
It's towards it, yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, that night, my first night at the Comedy Store, hosted by Jason Ranaboo, who we put in a skit. It was in the belly room, because you can't just do the main room first. You're lucky if you get the original room. You should do the belly room first, smallest room. And that night on the same bill was Paul Walter Hauser. It was like a crazy huge actor now.
Yeah.
And like, I mean,
we developed like a pretty good relationship with, and it was kind of shocking when after he got famous, he stopped following me.
Yeah, especially you. For me, like we had each other's phone numbers, and for when we first met in LA to get together a couple times as we did, in and out, yes. And then we kind of, it's just one of those relationships where you're not living in the same city. You met each other doing the thing that you love.
I also just want to acknowledge that I actually don't give a fuck.
I know you don't give a fuck.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in years.
I know. Hey, but you know what? If you see this in person, though, it'd all be love. But no,
exactly.
It's one of those very understandable things. I think, in my opinion, it just. If you're not really actively in someone's life, it's like, what are you going to do?
Ellevan, this is such a good conversation. We got to wrap it up here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's 7:07.
Holy shit. Okay, well, I don't want to leave on this, like, shallow, we used to perform with celebrities type talk, so we got to have one more concept, or I got to read something. Okay. What am I saying? We are celebrities.
We've had a nice, beautiful day, and so I didn't prepare my fun fact. So I just put into Google fascinating fact about the body, and this is the first one that came up.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Boom, boom, ba.
Every second, your body produces 25 million new cells.
What?
That means in 15 seconds, you will have produced more cells than there are people in the United States.
Holy fucking shit.
Whoa, that was a good, fascinating fact.
Do you know what I feel?
What?
People are really going to join our Patreon to get that PDF.
I think I have been really involved and excited about like revamping my own knowledge on it. So I think it's a good document. I say at the beginning of the document that like this topic specifically is
hey, take it easy.
Vast, and there is a lot of information that has different perceptions and ideologies and theories about the chakra system. So this is like scratching the surface, like literally just scratching the surface of the system itself. So I say that in the PDF. I let you know that this isn't the end all be all, but I'm excited about sharing it.
Why do you do disclaimers like that? Do you notice that you do a lot of disclaimers in life?
I really like to just let people know what's going on 100%.
Like, what does that do for you?
Transparency.
And what does that mean, that you don't feel like it's necessary, what you're saying? Like, why do you demote it before you put it out there?
I don't think that's a demotion.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm sorry, just like explore that, because I notice you do a lot of disclaimers a lot. But I guess it's just you like to keep things balanced, I think, right?
I guess just the more information that I can put, like if I was like,
it's a little bit Taurine of you to be like, hey, here's something I worked really hard on, but also this ain't shit.
If I was like, yes, like go to our Patreon.
One-sided confidence seems very dick-headed.
I like to just mention that I'm aware. It's honestly for me. I like to mention that I am aware that this topic specifically, like mention it when I do this more often so I can maybe explain myself. But yeah. I like knowing that I am aware that this is a giant
pool of thing.
And I myself know
You're
that I've
student.
Only scratched the surface.
You're a humble
and I'm
student.
excited about it. So I'm sharing what I'm learning right now because that like embeds it in my system.
That's sick. So you're basically, you learn something better by teaching it too.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But it's fun to explore a topic with a student more so than someone from a position of like, I know everything. Can you pass me the Art of Living over there?
Yeah.
Are you getting anxiety about people showing up?
Yes.
Has anyone texted you and said they're here yet? It's 7:10. You're like, I could not imagine being 10 minutes late for a hang.
I feel like the people, I don't know.
Take it AC.
They're on time.
Take a breath.
Fine. I'm just also...
Everyone take a breath with us before I read this pass. Winnie, please choose a number between 1 and 32.
12.
There we go. The art of mastering fear. Fear is a wild horse that needs a tight rein, for it is both friend and a foe, both good and evil. And to live effectively, a woman must learn to master it. By utilizing the intuitive warning system of fear as a shield against real danger. By harnessing the energizing power of fear for flight or fight when emergency strikes. By using the fear of insecurity, defeat, and failure as a lash and spur to high achievement. By guarding against fear's power to destroy, though recalling the ancient legend of the plague that went to Baghdad to kill 5,000 people. 50,000 people died instead, and when the plague was questioned, it replied, I killed 5,000 as I said I would. The others died of fear. By flooding the dark corners of fear and superstition with the bright light of reason and knowledge, thus mapping the unknown, overcoming fancy with fact, dispersing hobgoblins of the imagination, and revealing the truth that sets men free. By accepting the fact that old age and death are natural and inevitable, that to fear them is futile, and that they can be best faced with a calm and quiet mind by ignoring them and gallantly living a day at a time. By finding inspiration in the words of Cardinal Newman, fear not that your life shall come to an end, but rather that it shall never have a beginning. By willingly taking the risk of enriching adventures tinged with danger, knowing that she sheltered and protected life misses much, and that, as the bard of Avon expressed it, cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once. By facing fear boldly and practicing the precept of Emerson, do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. By coming into alignment with the great spiritual laws of the universe and learning that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. By discovering that the mightiest law of all this, perfect love, casts out fear. By beholding the power of faith to work miracles as expressed in these inspiring words. Fear knocked at the door, faith opened it, and lo, there was no one there. The art of mastering fear.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
What another great episode.
What a great episode.
You're fantastic.
We really send out some bangers for you guys. If you're loving these, write in the comments, share with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube, make sure you're following us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, join our Patreon, get this PDF, holler at us for these merch t-shirts, send us a DM or a message. Winnie, you got anything else to add?
Just comment below if you'd get this merch.
Holla at your motherfucking mama.
Thanks, everyone.
Love you guys. Bye.
Happy Friday. Or whenever you're listening to this.
Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills. Well, it's helped me feel okay about my shitty social skills. doesn't make my social skills better, but it sure does make sitting in that awkward moment in a social interaction a lot more bearable. You know, that moment where no one in the group has anything left to say, and you desperately want to yell at all of them, just say something. Being high makes that hilarious and not torture.
Yo. It's Ellevan from Anger Town. This plant just helped me chill out. Found focus. Found confidence. All of a sudden I was productive. Less protective. More progressive. Yeah, we talk about stuff like I'm a next sommelier. But this is about a medicine, baby. We wish everyone a mindful life. It's been a helpful tool for us. And whatever the route to peace, it's each individual's journey. And the more we communicate, maybe we can all help each other out. Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And that's Ralph.
That was crazy timing.
All around. Okay, we're rolling. And I'm about to start rolling us a joint. Put this here.
I'm going to finish this joint because you've had more joints than I have had.
Yeah, you should definitely have some. You know what? I didn't actually smoke that much weed today.
I know, but you had a soap.
Yeah. You didn't smoke any weed the whole time you're at your hairdresser's?
No.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
I know, yeah.
I would just be like, no, let's go outside and smoke. Or I'd smoke inside. That's why I don't get my hair done. Ready?
Yeah.
And welcome back to another episode.
To the same space, so breathe anywhere near where I be. If you trying to get by, then your vibe gotta rise. Yeah, I'll tell you when